Surveillance has gone through this absolutely massive change. We've moved way beyond just recording stuff that's already happened. Now, we're living in an era of prediction, where the whole goal of technology is to figure out what we're going to do before we even do it. So let's dive in and unpack how we got to this point. And this right here, this really nails the massive leap we've taken. On the one hand, you've got the old way, right? Some poor guy trying to watch a dozen screens, looking at grainy footage after something has already gone wrong. But now you have AI systems that can analyze everything from every camera all at once in real time. This isn't just about recording anymore. It's about trying to understand behavior, to stop things before they even begin.
Okay, so this brings us right to the heart of it all, the predictive revolution. We're going to explore the incredible promise of this new tech and how AI basically learned to see what's coming next.
So here's the thing you've got to get. Modern AI surveillance, the stuff powered by deep learning, it does so much more than just record. It's not just seeing a person. It's analyzing how they walk, the stress in their voice, their facial expressions. It's like the AI is watching and learning what normal looks like in a place, which lets it flag anything that seems off, way faster than a human ever could. And look, this isn't some sci-fi movie stuff. A recent security analysis found that these systems can actually pinpoint potential security incidents with up to 95% accuracy. I mean, think about that. That's a crazy level of precision. It's totally transforming surveillance into something else, predictive intelligence. But here's where the story takes a really interesting turn. As mind-blowing as all that is, the biggest change, the most profound evolution in surveillance, isn't happening in some high-tech control room. It's actually happening somewhere, well, a lot closer to home. And the answer is probably going to surprise you. The most sophisticated, most widespread surveillance platform on the entire planet isn't run by some government agency. Yeah, it's that smartphone. Maybe the one you're holding in your hand right this second. All right, so that leads us perfectly into our next section, the monitor in your pocket. We're about to pull back the curtain on the secret life of our own devices and their pretty shocking role in this whole revolution. Just stop and think for a second about the sheer sensory power that's packed into your phone. It's not just a phone, it's a whole suite of high-tech sensors. The accelerometer feels every move you make. The gyroscope knows exactly how you're holding it. The GPS pinpoints you anywhere on Earth, and that's before we even get to the high-def cameras and microphones. All of that together paints an unbelievably detailed picture of, well, you. And what's so wild is how this data can be used in two completely different ways. For instance, the accelerometer in your phone can help the city map out potholes just by collecting data from thousands of cars driving around. That's great. But that very same sensor, combined with a gyroscope, can also be used by an insurance company to analyze your driving habits. And I mean everything, every hard brake, every sharp turn, to decide how risky of a driver you are. It can even guess if you're getting tired. Okay, so there's a really powerful argument for all this. Over 90% of all traffic accidents are caused by human error. The idea is if these systems can tell when a driver is tired or distracted, they can step in and literally save lives. It's a very compelling case for safety, but the catch is it only works with this constant, totally invisible monitoring. And that brings us to a really crucial turning point. This whole economic model, the one built on gathering up our data to predict our next move, it's not just a cool feature. It has a name, and it has some seriously profound consequences. So let's get into our third and, honestly, maybe the most important part of this whole story, the price of prediction. And to really get the hidden costs of this new world, we have to talk about something called surveillance capitalism. Harvard professor Shoshana Zuboff, who really pioneered this idea, she defined it as the commodification of human behavior through data extraction and analysis. The big idea here is that your data isn't being used to make a product better for you. No, your actual behavior is the product, a product that can be sold to somebody else. So think of it like this. Your personal data is the raw material, right? AI systems chew through it to predict what you'll do, what you'll think, what you'll buy next. And then those predictions get sold to other companies that want to, well, influence your behavior. And the way it works is actually pretty straightforward when you break it down into 3 steps. First, your data gets collected, usually silently, just happening in the background. Second, AI models crunch all that data to make predictions about you. And third, those predictions, your future behavior, gets sold on a marketplace. So, of course, this leads to the big question. What happens in the real world when our own behavior becomes a product for sale? What are the consequences?
And the costs to society, well, they're huge. First off, consent is basically meaningless. Come on, we've all done it. Clicked agree on a 50-page document we have no intention of reading. Then there's digital redlining, which basically means biased computer programs end up reinforcing real-world inequalities. And finally, this whole system puts a scary amount of power into the hands of a few giant, unaccountable companies, giving them incredible influence over our society.
Okay, so that's a lot to take in. Where do we even go from here? The good news is, the future isn't written yet. Figuring out how to navigate this new world means we have to start making some very conscious choices.
It really seems to come down to a three-pronged approach if we want to get this right. One, we need smart regulations that actually treat our data rights like human rights. Two, we need to demand ethical design, making sure things like fairness and accountability are baked into the tech from the very start. And three, we need to boost public literacy, so we can all understand not just how we use technology, but how technology uses us.
And I can't stress this enough. This conversation has to happen now. The foundation of our digital future is literally being poured as we speak. We have this really small window to actually influence how this new world gets built, and we have to act before the blueprints are set in stone for good.
So, in the end, it really all boils down to one simple question, doesn't it? Are we building a future of incredible intelligence and safety? Or are we building one of total intrusion and control? The tech itself, it's neutral. It won't give us the answer. That's a choice that we, all of us, have to make.